In the meantime, I'm going to stop with my impression because it's not very good. Let's go ahead and cover a hazmat situation. A hazmat situation. This is the happiest place on earth. All right, I'm getting a view of this article that we're going to cover. It is apparently a hazmat situation reported at Disneyland. 5 cast members hospitalized. Let's discuss this. Go. What the fuck? Why is this music not playing right? Do this again. Hell yeah. The happiest place on earth saw a flash of real-world drama Tuesday afternoon when a hazardous materials situation unfolded in the heart of Disneyland at approximately 12:30 p.m. Emergency crews were dispatched to a backstage area in Tomorrowland following reports of a mysterious pungent odor. While the incident remains largely behind the scenes, the response was massive, involving local hazmat teams and multiple ambulances staged near the park's northern perimeter. The human toll of the incident was felt primarily by the park's staff. According to the Anaheim Fire Department, 7 cast members were transported to local hospitals after experiencing symptoms of dizziness and shortness of breath. Several other employees were treated on-site by paramedics in protective gear, but were released shortly after. Disney officials have since clarified that the scare was caused by, quote, an unexpected reaction between building materials being used by an outside contractor working in a backstage service area. What on earth are we talking about here? So, like, is this guy burning, like, drywall to huff the fumes? What are we talking about here? This sounds like nonsense. Well, the primary hazard was localized. The park officials took no chances with guest safety. Portions of Tomorrowland, specifically the areas around Star Tours and Space Mountain. If you have any idea what I'm talking about right now, you are retarded. Were temporarily closed and cleared of guests. The popular Star Traders gift shop was shuttered for several hours. I'm sure that upset very many fat losers. Disney representatives emphasized that at no point were any guests in any danger or exposed to the fumes. And on-stage areas of the park were fully reopened by Tuesday evening, once the air quality sensors gave an all clear. This incident is marking a rare disruption for Tomorrowland, which has seen increased construction activity recently as the park updates several of its classic attractions. For now, the affected cast members were reported to be in stable condition with minor injuries. Disneyland has stated that they are currently working closely with a contractor and local authorities to review the safety protocols involved in the backstage project to ensure a chemical surprise like this does not happen again. A chemical surprise. These people can't help but sound whimsy about every goddamn thing in their lives, even though they're killing people.
At least 5 Disneyland workers have been...
They're not killing people. I know that if I say that, Disney will blacklist this video. No one will see it. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care.
To the hospital with difficulty breathing. First responders are treating this as a hazardous materials investigation. KTLA's Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost is live outside the park in Anaheim with the latest. Hi, Chip.
Hi, Chip.
Yeah, hello there, guys. Yeah, we've been talking.
Can you imagine being a motherfucker's name chipped? Can you... motherfucker's name Chip. What are you? You are an adult. You can change it. You hate your child if you give them a name like Chip. I'm sorry. Chip is, it's not respectable. It's not classy. It's like naming your kid Buckley.
To guests who've been leaving Disneyland, the good news is most of them had not even heard of the situation. No guests were affected from what we're told. But unfortunately, as you said, a number of employees were taken to the hospital. I'll show you some video from Scott.
Who cares about the working class? You can replace them in a second. It's just some teenager from, like, I don't know, the Bay Area. They're like, I'm going to make it big when I move to Hollywood. And then they end up working at Disneyland because, you know, they're failed actors. They're waiting to get picked up for a pilot or something. And here they just put on a mouse head, and it's the last thing they'll ever do because they'll breathe through that mouse head and they'll die.
I-5 HD, which was above the scene just a little bit ago. This happened near the Star Tours attraction in Tomorrowland inside of Disneyland. It was in the backstage area. We're told that around 12:30 the fire department was called because some employees in that area reported getting dizzy and having shortness of breath, while some employees were treated and released on scene.
So you called a fire department? You called a fire department and not the paramedics? That sounds like a medical emergency.
We're told that at least 5 employees were taken to the hospital because of their symptoms. Like I said, the symptoms seeming to be shortness of breath and dizziness. Also, out of an abundance of caution, we understand from the folks at Disneyland, they also closed some adjacent attractions, but expected some of those attractions to reopen soon. Now, as far as the condition,
Oh, good.
those folks who are taken to the hospital don't know, but at least five employees at Disneyland taken to the hospital. What we're told was going on, they said there were some contractors doing some work back in that area, and they believe something...
You mean to tell me that some broke-ass Midwest family almost couldn't go to Space Mountain because some idiot teenagers felt like, having shortness of breath, some idiot 30-year-olds, because let's be honest, it's probably that. We make the joke that it's teenagers working at Disneyland, but really it's spun-out geeks that, they get high in a Brentwood grocery store parking lot at the end of their shift. They're really, it's full of embarrassing fellas. It's not my fault, it's theirs, but I have never fully gotten the prospect of theme parks. I've never understood what makes people so happy when they're there. I've always been a person where I go, if they have cool things to look at there, I'm not a person where I like to ride rides. I'm sorry, my idea of fun is not getting my spinal cord jerked around by a device that was set up maybe 5 seconds ago. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. When I think about the idea of people who get excited or very, very hyped about the idea of they have the zipper, they have the gravitron and whatnot, I'm like, you like to make yourself sick is what you like to do. You like to make yourself sick. Or you like to discombobulate yourself, and that's what feels good about it. Is like I get it. You're a kid and you don't do drugs. Drugs can do that for you. Literally, if you want an experience of going on a gravitron, take a few shots and you'll be spinning. You'll be laying on the bed and you'll feel like the bed itself is spinning. I've had the bed spins. It's like being on a roller coaster and it sucks.
The contractors were using, something got in the air, and that's what may have caused this, but that's still under investigation as far as exactly what happened. For now, reporting here outside of Disneyland, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA.
I'm sure you are Chip Yost. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much stuff that's going on, and Disneyland should be the least of our concerns, but it's just a fun one to tap on now and